Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning. Let me go and set up this room real quick and then we can get started. So let's see. Got this there. All right, looks solid. Today is Friday, December 10th. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great trading week so far. Almost got everything set up here in the room. Once everything's all done, we can get started with our analysis of US 30. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium so that you guys can start joining the Zoom. And then we can get started. Shortly. So there goes the Zoom link right there for you guys. Solid. All right, cool. People are making their way in right now. So as people make their way in, we can get started with our analysis of US 34 today. So let me just get a few minutes, guys, and let everybody make their way in. Once everyone's made their way in, we can get started. So what's going on over here? Clean this up. Clean this up. All right, clean up the charts code. So good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, December 10th. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great trading week so far. Ready to wrap up this week strong. So market is opening in about 8 minutes at 6:22 right now. I'm going to go ahead and analyze US 30 shortly. I'm going to get a few more minutes for people to make their way in, but I will start looking in a bit. We do have some time, so there's really no rush. There's no need for me to rush everything. I'll make sure everyone makes their way in here. So morning, Kenny, morning, Lorraine, morning, Essa, morning, Peter, morning, Fahad, morning, Matt. Yeah, I think a lot of people are not going to be trading today, which, makes sense because it is Friday. It's a really risky day to trade. So let me just give it a few more minutes. I think by like 6:25, I'll start looking at everything pretty much. The news, retail sentiment, fundamentals, and then technicals to wrap it up with our analysis before market open. Morning, Ken, morning, Patrick, morning, Maria, morning, Matt, morning, everyone. Happy Friday, everybody. So yeah, I didn't really take too many trades this week, guys. I took only I think one or two. Oh, I took a couple trades on Monday. So I traded on Monday on the live. I don't think I traded on the live any other day aside from Monday. I did take one trade yesterday. Later in the New York session, which I did catch a quick profit, and I did post it in the group as well. So let me just check real quick, because I don't think I took anything on the live yesterday. Yeah, so I took this after the live, this variation entry. I made about about close to 2,000 per account, so about like 6K across all the accounts. Other than that, I didn't really take anything else before that. Yeah. So the last time we took a live trade was just, I think on Monday. We took a couple live trades. The market this week has just been, it's either been really slow or it's been very erratic. So that's why I've been a bit more careful with the trades that we decide to take. Obviously with the holidays coming around, it becomes a bit more risky, but we're still able to maneuver around it. It's just the key thing is waiting for those good entries and not forcing anything. So we'll be doing the same thing today. We'll be a bit conservative, wait for those perfect entries, but if we see something good, we'll take a look. So let's see. Morning, Maddie. Morning, Delmas. Morning, Ken. Morning, everyone. So let's start with our analysis for today. Let me pull up the news real quick to see if there's anything going on. Today's Friday, right here, December 10th. We had news at 5:30. It was CPI and core CPI. You can see it was positive news, and that's why US 30 was super bullish right here. At 5:30, price just skyrocketed all the way up due to the good news. Other than that, there's not really much else going on aside from prelim UOM consumer sentiment, which is at 7 o'clock. So we have that coming up in about 30 minutes. Also, we have the federal budget balance coming up at 11 as well. So a couple other news events coming up, but nothing really out of the usual. So other than that, let's take a look at the retail sentiment. Currently, retail sentiment is at 61% short. So we're going to have a bullish bias today. It's not very, I mean, it's the bias is for shorts. So majority of retail traders are short. So we're going to be having a bullish bias. However, it's not that strong. It's only 61%. If it was closer to like 70, 75, 80, then it would be a strong bias. However, right now it's just a light bias for a buy for us. It's a sell bias for retail traders, but we generally trade opposite of them. So we're going to be looking for long trades today. Also looking at fundamentals, it's currently up 176 points. So we'll see what happens when the market does open in the next 4 minutes officially. Once we get that, we can confirm what the bias is for the day. Morning, Lisa. Morning, David. Morning, Miles. Morning, everyone. Looks like people are still making their way in. So going over to the charts. So we've looked over at the fundamentals. It's currently bullish. Retail sentiment is bearish. So we're looking to take buys. Now looking over here at the technicals. Currently, right now, it was bullish. Now price swung right back down. So it's a bit indecisive at this moment for the 1 minute. Looking over at the 3 minute, it's currently bullish still. So just on the 1 minute, this is currently indecisive because it swung down. However, on the 3 minute, it is bullish still because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. Looking over at the 10 minute, it's also bullish because price is above the pivots and the trend meter is green. So pretty much across the board right here, 10 minute, 3 minute bullish, 1 minute, it was bullish, but it swung below. It might swing right back up when the market opens in the next 3 minutes. However, it looks like price is just correcting back down following the news because news happened right here at 5:30 and it pushed price all the way up. Then it's correcting right back down to where price was prior to that news event. So 5:30 right here is when the news was released. Price may come back down and stabilize around this area. Then probably come right back up. So it might come down, reject off this previous New York high, and then just bounce right back up. That's probably what's going to happen because you can see price is just correcting back down. It might not even come down that far. Market is opening in about 2 minutes. So when the market does open, a lot of people who are entering just saw the news that it was positive this morning for the core CPI and CPI. So what's probably going to happen is this will probably drop slightly and then it'll probably just swing right back up. That's my guess. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Market is now opening in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. So we'll see what happens shortly. Otherwise, we already have our analysis set up for the retail sentiment, fundamentals, news, and now the technicals here. So we'll see what happens in a few minutes. Market is opening in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Once the market does open, we'll confirm what the fundamentals are looking like, and then we'll take trades in that direction. So, all right, guys, let's get started. All right, market is opening in 1 minute. All right, we got 50 seconds till market open. So over here, looks good. All right, we got about 35 seconds till market open. Still bullish right here. We'll confirm it shortly. Yeah, inflation surge 6.8 November. All right, market is opening in about 15 seconds. Just trying to see if there's any other news here causing price to move. But it is bullish across the board right here for the Dow futures, S&P, and NASDAQ. Market is opening in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The market's now open. So let's see what happens here. Price starting to push right back up. You can see a lot of people are hopping into the news that was bullish earlier, and it's moving exactly how we anticipated. as it swings right back up. See what the fundamentals are looking like right now. It's currently up 156 points. So fundamentals are bullish. Looking at the actual stock index over here, it's all bullish just like we anticipated. So here we go as price swings up right here. This is not going to be the breakout just yet. We need a confirmation of a strong bullish candle with the green buy signal. So if this candle right here closes with a buy signal and with little to no wick on the top side, this would technically be the breakout. However, it's too big of a candle, so it's not one that I would take because it's probably going to pull back a bit. It's about 400 pips. It's not huge, but it's a lot bigger than, you know, what we'd want it to be. So looking at this right here, it's closing with a wick on top, no buy signal. So this would not be a breakout entry right here for a buy because there's no buy signal there. We need momentum to be confirmed, and we need a strong green candle to confirm it as well. So looking at this right here, if this is invalid, it's not going to be an entry, but it will shift the bias to a buy. The momentum will be shifting to the upside. So it's fine if the signal doesn't close. If it closes invalid, that's okay too. It's just going to, we just need to confirm that it's going to, you know, push in that direction. All right, so as you can see, price is coming back down. And there's gonna be a lot of fake outs right now, guys. So it's important that you guys wait for the confirmation. If this here closes as a strong red candle, this would technically be the breakout entry. However, it's way too big. So it's not one that I would take. Also, another red flag is that it's getting close to this New York high right here. So the problem is when price gets near this New York high right here, price is likely to just bounce, right? So looking at this right here, this is not the entry. The reason for not being the entry is because we have a big wick right here. It doesn't fit the requirements. So no entry right here off that. Currently, we're going to see. But I'm not looking for a sell anyways, guys. So even if that becomes a case and we have that there, fundamentals are still bullish. So even if we do get a sell there, I'm not looking for any sells at this moment. I'm still looking for buys. So let's see what happens here. And price is starting to swing back up. You can see price is just bouncing back and forth. Market open right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the highs and the lows. Doesn't look like we're going to have a breakout entry, which is fine. So there's a high and there's a low. I'm going to go here to this clean chart. Clean everything up right there. We'll mark up the times right here, 6:30. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock and noon. So looking at this right here, here's the times that we're looking at. I'll be marking up the highs and the lows. Not really all the highs and the lows, but for the most part, the main high and the main low. So there we go, the clean chart right over here. Here's our markup right here. So we're not getting any breakout entry over here. It's 6:33 right now. We still have 2 minutes, so it could technically still come up, but we just don't have one right now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put up the strategies that we're looking for. All right, so we got the high-low scalp there. Intraday. And if you guys are new here, or if you guys have been here for a while, you guys know that I'm looking for all 3 of these strategies to line up for me to take an entry. These are all separate strategies and can be used separately. However, I'm looking for all 3 of them to line up before I take any entries, because whenever they line up, meaning one candle has an entry for all 3 strategies here, it's almost like a guaranteed win. So I'm looking for those trades. That's pretty much all that I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for almost guaranteed wins because the market conditions are too risky. They've been pretty risky for the past couple of weeks. You know, it hasn't really been smooth at all. So it's all about taking quality trades and being disciplined and wait for those quality trades, not to just force them whenever they come up. So, all right, this is a 3-minute right here. I'll put the 3-minute strategies right here as well. We have the 3-minute daily and the 3-minute pivot, which is pretty much the same as 1 minute, just on a different time frame. Make it a bit smaller, kind of big. All right, so there's no breakout. It's 6:35 right now, so no breakout came up. We're not going to be looking for these entries using these strategies here. Let me see if there's any zones around this area real quick. For any possible snipes, doesn't look like there's anything around this specific area. All right, so we got some zones drawn up right there. Go ahead and put the snipe strategy there. And then lastly, the daily entry over here. $6.30. We're still on the 6:30 candle, so I'll put the daily right up there. All right, so I got all the strategies lined up here with what I'm necessarily looking for. Just a reminder, these aren't the only strategies, guys. So there's a lot of other strategies you guys can use. This is just what I use because I'm scalping. But yeah, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strategies that I use here for US 30 during these live sessions, because I limit my trading to a specific time period. I don't trade Forex anymore. It's just too much work and like being on the charts all day. So I just trade US 30 and I trade from 6:30 to 8. That's pretty much it. I usually come back for like a later session. But for the most part, I just trade New York session. So other than that, let's see. Yeah, no entries off this right here. I'll keep drawing these new high lows as they develop. I think we still have a bullish bias right now. Yeah, 168 points right there in the green, 160 actually. Looking at the stock index, it's mostly green as well. So we're still looking for a buy. Our bias here is for a buy because the retail sentiment is currently short. So we're trading opposite retail sentiment, and the fundamentals are bullish. So basically what I'm looking for here, guys, is I'm looking for price to break and close above here. And unfortunately that buy signal that it closed, I was hoping that that would close above one of these highs here so that we can take it for an entry. But yeah, this thing that we're looking for here is for price to break above. So this high right here has just been broken. That's what I was focusing on right now. I'm trying to see if it would break. So there's no high here anymore. This high has been invalidated. The next high is going to be right here. So the thing is, if price closes above here, this would be a high-low entry. However, it's not going to be one that I'm planning on taking because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking for all of 3 of these to appear. In order for the 3 of them to appear, I'm going to be entering off a momentum signal. So we don't have one up right now, but when we do, we'll be ready to take that trade. All right, so other than that, unfortunately, it broke above here and the buy signal is below here. So it wouldn't have classified as an entry. Let me check the chat real quick and see what else I missed over here. Let's see, Paul said, made 1,000 on NASDAQ, waiting for the US 30 entry. Nice, Paul. So Paul already started off his day with NASDAQ. Maddie says she's 3-minute variation hit hard, just seen it. Let me see. I just seen that right there too, Maddie. I think the 3 minutes kind of risky though, but it did hit. I would have to back test it a bit more. All right, so price is breaking above here, guys. If price closes above here, this would be a buy entry using the high-low scalp, but it's not one that I would take. So if you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. I'll mark it up for you guys, but it's not one that I plan on taking. I do consider it risky because, and there's no entry there anyways. You can see price didn't even close above it. So no entry off that. This is now going to be the pending high. And here it goes, price breaks above here again. So I'll just put another high right there. So this high is continuing to get pushed higher and higher, as you guys can see. There's no high that's available right now. But as this continues to get pushed higher and higher, this will be the new pending high. What I'm focusing on right here, guys, is I'm trying to focus on the high for the day. So I'm gonna draw a vertical line here on market open, 630. And we'll try to follow where the high is for the specific New York session. Technically, the New York session would be over here at 5:30, but this is just for the actual New York Stock Exchange time. So price pushed higher, it's gonna go higher and higher there. And no entries available yet. Yeah, Maddie, I agree. Yeah, Maddie said it only comes up sometimes on 3 minute. I don't see there at all either. So I don't think it really comes up too often. But when it does come up, it looks like it hits pretty hard. Like even this one over here, it was close, but not exactly. But this one over here hit real nice. Yeah, I'll probably keep an eye on it too, Maddie, just in case, because it does hit. It's just, it happens very rarely. Gallo said, "What guys? What broker is better than Hugo's Way? My ticker is off by TradingView from TradingView by 20." I don't think Hugo's Way is that bad, Gallo. I think you're confusing 20 with 2. It's actually only 2, or maybe it is 20. I don't know because I'm not looking at it right now. But I mean, depending on what broker you want to use, I mean, there's a ton of different brokers you can use. I haven't had any issues with Hugo's Way. I know they had issues a long time ago, but I never had issues with them after that. If you want to use something on TradingView, then you can use TradeStation, but you're not going to be able to use that as a copier. You'll be able to trade directly off TradingView, but you can't use it as a copier because you're going to be trading on TradingView. There's also AMP, which you can trade off TradingView. But for MT4, I don't have a recommendation for any brokers on there. The only one I use for my personal is the one that I use on TradingView. I mean, on MT4 is just Hugo's Way. So I don't really have a recommendation for that. Dion said capital.com is nice on TradingView. Nice. Yeah, so Dion has experience with capital.com. So there's a lot of different brokers you can use, Gallo. But, you guys want to keep in mind that the broker's not going to make a difference. Like, even if it's a 20 pip difference, Gallo, it's not going to make a difference with your trades. If your trades are still not hitting on a 20 pip difference, it's not going to make a difference. Like it's not enough to change a broker, right? So you guys want to keep that in mind. Most of the time, a lot of people, I see a lot of people switch from broker to broker. Like I see people go from like FTMO to like all these other random funding companies and they still suck, right? So it doesn't make a difference like what funding company you guys use or broker. I use Hugo's Way and I haven't had any issues. So I don't think it's enough to like really go to anything else. Same with FTMO. I've been using FTMO for years now, or yeah, I guess years at this point, and I haven't had any issues with them. So if you guys want to use what I'm using FTMO for my funding company, and then Hugo's Way for my personal. But other than that, there's nothing else I can really recommend to you aside from ones that are other that don't apply to MT4, because TradeStation is good, but it's not, you're not going to be able to add it to your copier. That's why I don't use them right now, because I can't copy my trades if I use them. All right, so there's no entry here. We have another low that's been established, well, not really established, but it's pending right here. Man, this market this whole week has just been kind of not great. It's been slow, or it's just been dead. I mean, for the most part. Go back over here real quick. So I got pushed higher. So what I like to do here, guys, is I have my 1 minute chart where I actually have my trades entered, and I have one that's clean where I can see the bigger view. Not really bigger view, but a cleaner view with regard to US 30. Let's see. Scott said, what slippage do you have on social trading tools? I'm at 10, and sometimes the copier doesn't trigger. I have it set to 5 million, Scott. I just put a big number there just so that it always fills. So you can put it to that. Once I set it to 5 mil, it almost never skips a trade. Like I don't think I've missed a trade in a long time, or I don't remember the last time I missed a trade. I know it's a big number, so it kind of worries people. But the thing is, you're not going to miss like a lot if because the slippage will probably go off by maybe half of your profit. Like I've seen other people where they lose like half their profit, but it's not anything more or less than that. So I think 5 mil should be fine. Yeah, Scott said, okay, I'm a bit off. Yeah, I know 10 is it's not much because thing is if like price is very volatile and it's moving like 10 pips, you're gonna miss the trade. So if you can either put like 1 mil, I put 5 mil because I just put the max number I could think of without overdoing it. Yeah, other than that, let's see if there's anything else right here. This low just got smoothed down a little lower. And this high over here just got invalidated actually. Right here, I'm just gonna delete this because this isn't necessary right now. All right, so let's see what happens here. I think we're still bullish. Let's go back over here to the fundamentals. It's still up 160 points almost. Stock index is completely green still. So we still have a bullish bias right now. The market is just kind of bouncing back and forth, which is fine because we have the bigger range right here. And then we have a smaller range that's starting to develop within this area. All right. All right, so we got a pending low right here. Hasn't been established. If you guys are not familiar with what I'm saying right here, basically this low here, if in order for it to be established, we need 5 candles to pass it. So right now, there's just 1 candle that's currently pending right now. Once we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't close, this would be established as the low. Same with like this low over here. This low was created by this candle. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that passed and haven't touched it. So this is still considered the low. Right over there. Or actually, it looks like this candle right here might have touched it. So this might be invalidated too, but even if it is, we're not going to use that as an entry anyways, because we're looking for buys here. Delete that. So you guys can see where the range is right here. It's kind of hard to see on this chart, but if I go over here to this chart, you can see exactly where the range is. Price pretty much is bouncing around this area. Opening price was right over here. And I'll just draw a dotted line right there so that you guys can see where opening price was. Actually, opening price is right over 29. Right over here. All right, so you can see price came down, then came up, then came back down, and it's rejecting exactly off the opening price. This is where the New York Stock Exchange opened, right over here. So what could happen at this point is one of two things. Price will either bounce off this and swing right back up, or price will break below and continue dropping further. So this would be a key point, a key price point to be looking at. And you can see price starting to push back up right there. It's like the same pattern. If you guys have been following me for a while, there's always like key price points where price comes back to, and it either breaks through it or bounces right off it. So it looks like it's bouncing off it here, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. But yeah, definitely no entry yet. I'm going to go ahead and draw a pending low right here. And let's check the other time frame. So 3 minute over here, we have a pending sell. But even if we get to sell here, it's not going to be one that we plan on taking because the fundamentals and retail sentiment bias is all pointing towards a buy. So we're looking for buys. So we're strictly looking for buys. So if you do get a sell signal here, this would technically be an entry for the daily. And it might be an entry for the pivot scalp if it closes below these pivots. However, it's not one that we'd be looking to take. Other than that, nothing here off the 10 minute for a snipe, and then nothing here off the daily here for the 10 minute either. Going back to the 1 minute, this low just keeps getting pushed farther and farther below. Right there. And as you can see, price broke below the opening price, and it might be making its way to the downside right here before swinging back up. It doesn't necessarily need to push down all the way, but you can see that it's now dropping, that it's broken below the broken and closed below. That's a key thing, closing. So you can see it attempted to close below here. It failed 1-2 times. And then the third time it finally closed below, and now it's starting to drop lower. So that's usually what happens, right? Price will come down to opening price, and then it'll either bounce off or it'll drop lower. And that's exactly what's happening right here. It's dropping lower. I'm just going to take this off because it's kind of pointless to have that low put there and it just keeps dropping lower and lower. Yeah, other than that, no entry off the 3 minute, and it didn't close with that sell signal. Nothing here off the 10. And we are back at the 1. So it's not really much for us to take right now. And if you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I can answer whatever questions you guys have, but this is typical for a Friday. It's, the market's either going to be really fast or it's going to be really slow. Today, it's kind of average, but it's not really moving smoothly, right? So, going over here, it's kind of similar to how it was yesterday, right? It hasn't chosen a direction. Usually when market opens, it chooses a direction. It just keeps pushing one way. It doesn't necessarily drop, come back up, then come back down, and then go back up, right? My guess is that this is going to swing back up because the thing is, fundamentals have been green this entire time, like pretty strong green too. They've been up like 150 points, but price hasn't really pushed up that heavily. It only pushed up on open, and then it came right back down. So my guess is that it's going to finally come back up. It's going to push up at some point. That's my anticipation, because the fundamentals here have been, bullish pretty much all morning, and it hasn't really had that strong bullish push. I mean, you can see right here, the entire stock index is pretty much all green. There's a few stocks here that are red. The main one is Boeing. It's down 3 points. Chevron's down 1 point. Goldman Sachs is down less than 1 point. Walmart's down less than 1 point. Walt Disney is turning green right now. Pretty much everything here is green. Looking at Microsoft, it's up 4 points, almost 5 points. Literally, this one stock could cover all these red stocks. So with that said, price should be going up. But on the chart here, price isn't going up yet, right? Because there's a lot of traps being set up right here. It seems like they're trying to lure in some more sellers. So they're bringing price down. And then when you least expect it, it's going to shoot right back up. So, we don't fall for that trap because we look at the fundamentals. Unlike a lot of other traders who just look at technicals here, technicals are generally the last thing that I look at. I make sure I confirm what the fundamentals are telling me and retail sentiment. Then I look over at the technicals and I make sure that the trade aligns with the fundamentals. So we'll keep watching to see what happens here. But just looking at the stock index, for the most part, everything here is pretty much green. So I'm anticipating this to shoot right back up because you can see all the green stocks right here versus all of the red stocks right here. And this one stock over here, Microsoft, can cover pretty much all of these, right? Because if you just add, if you literally just add up what's down there, like, so we'll do -1 minus -21 minus -89 minus -237. It's only down 3.57 points in the red, right? Microsoft is up 4.54. So this one stock pretty much could outweigh all the red stocks right here. So price should be going up. And as you can see right here, price is starting to go back up. So, you just got to use basic logic with this stuff. It's not rocket science. Literally, you just match up and see, okay, the entire stock market is green. If this was to disappear, if this was to wipe out all these red stocks, the entire stock market would be, or not the stock market, but US 30 would be green, right? Because if you wipe this out with these three, everything here would be green. So price is likely to push to the upside. B's asking if I'm going to take the daily if it's a buy. I don't take the daily on Fridays because the market closed at noon. So I don't take the daily on Fridays because that trade's supposed to be running for an entire day and you don't have enough time in the market to hold on to it for that long. So we never take the dailies on Friday, B. You can possibly take it and exit early, but I'm not going to be taking it because I can't hold trades over the weekend on my FTMO. So I'm not looking to risk my account, trying to hold a trade. And because what might happen is you'll get the daily and then it just might die out, right? So, I mean, you guys have probably seen it before where like if the daily comes up right here, yeah, decent. Forgot it was even Friday. Yeah, no, this week came by pretty quick. But what happens is sometimes you'll get a buy signal and then you'll enter it and then it'll just go flat for the entire session. And then it hits 12 and you're like, damn, I got to get out of this trade. And then sometimes you'll be in the negative, like in some drawdown, and you'll just have to close out the loss, which sucks. So I personally am not going to take the daily if it comes up. I'll be following it. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I don't plan on taking it specifically because it's Friday. Even for the 3-minute daily over here, if you guys have seen Deswell is one of the K2 members who created the strategy. He pretty much just used a 10-minute strategy on the 3-minute. He doesn't apply it on Fridays either. So for the most part, it usually it's just not, it's too risky to take it on a day like this. Because the thing with Friday is that market is always going to be a bit irregular. And the reason why it's irregular on a Friday is because what happens on Friday, people sell off their positions, right? Because a lot of people don't like holding trades over the weekend because you don't know what could happen over the weekend, right? Like some war can just start anywhere in the world, or something can happen over the weekend that can cause price to either most likely dump, right? That's usually what usually happens. Like if there's a crazy COVID outbreak that happens on Saturday and people are like in buys, when the market opens on Monday, it's gonna tank, right? Just like it did last week. So that's why you guys want to be very careful on a Friday. I usually don't even trade on Fridays, but I'm on here just to see if there's anything good. If there's nothing good, then obviously I'm not going to take anything. But if I do see something, obviously, I may try and take something, but yeah, nothing here. And you can see his price comes right back down. This is normal for Friday. You see a lot of regular movements here. Price came down right here, close to the previous New York session high. And when price gets to this point, it can bounce right off it. But you guys can see that these are very irregular moves right here because it's starting to drop even further. Let me see if there's anything that happened here. Not really much. I mean, the stocks are pretty much the same for US 30. I don't know if there's any updates that happen with regard to the market. But looking at the stocks over here, pretty much all of the indices and indexes, they're all bullish. The Dow's up 114 points, S&P's up 21 points, Nasdaq's up 41 points, Russell 2K is up 16 points, but the VIX is down 1.4. So for the most part, the big three right here are all bullish. I don't see anything here. Okay, so this, I don't know if this affected the market at all, but it says Elon Musk sells another 963 million Tesla stock. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, he just sold. So Musk sold a total of 9.85 billion in Tesla stock just last month. That's crazy. Yeah, dude. And then he just sold another 963.2 million in stock right there as well. So Elon tweeted, thinking of quitting my jobs and becoming an influencer full time. Obviously he's trolling, but yeah, no, it's funny. Damn, but he sold off a lot of stock. The Tesla is not in US 30, so it's not really going to affect. I mean, it could affect it indirectly, but it's not necessarily affecting it directly. You can see it's down 17 points right now off the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq is still bullish. So, I mean, it affected it somewhat, but not, completely. So we'll keep watching here. I mean, if I see anything, I'll call it. If I don't, then I mean, we'll just keep waiting. We have another a high right here, so I'll mark this up. So basically right here, guys, we have the session high and the session low. Well, not really the session high, but for the New York Stock Exchange, the actual session high would be back here at 530. So this would be the actual session high for New York because it's set at different times. Because the market technically opens an hour before the New York Stock Exchange. But for the New York Stock Exchange, this is going to be the high, and this is going to be the low, and this is going to be the pending high right here. Or I mean, it's been established now, so this is going to be the closest high to current price. So let me see if there's anything else right here. Yeah, Gallo, MT4 is always going to be off from TradingView. Price is never going to be the same thing, Gallo, because they're different brokers. So for TradingView, leastcurrency.com broker data, that's why the price here is different from MT4 because MT4 is going to be your broker data on there as well. So if you look at your Hugo's weight prices and your FTMO prices, prices are always going to be, they're going to be different. They're never going to be the same because each broker uses different data. So I don't think 20 pips is a big difference. You know, it's not going to make or break your trades. Uh, and it's not 20 points. I think it's probably like 2 pips, 2 or 20 pips, which is not really going to make a big difference. Because the thing is, we're still entering and exiting at the same time. So it doesn't matter what price it is. It's still going to have the same volatility. It's just pricing is going to be a bit different. So you shouldn't be using those pricings anyways to begin with, because that's why we always enter for market when we do enter. I never use prices for TradingView. I never use prices for FTMO either. Oh yeah, so there was news. Sorry guys. So I didn't even I totally forgot. Jay, thanks for mentioning that. I forgot there was news here at 7. So we had prelim UOM consumer sentiment was bullish right here. Jay just confirmed. Yes, it was bullish right there. And then exactly at that time right here at 7, you see this bullish push to the upside. I totally forgot there was news coming up. So that was probably why a lot of this regular movement happened, because people are putting in their pre-news trades. So they pretty much were anticipating where price was going to go, push price down, news came out, it was bullish, shot right back up, and then came right back down. So, and this is fine. This is actually what I would want to happen right here. I would want this to come down because it's establishing new highs, right? So again, right here, we have another high. And when it does that, it creates volatility. So what happens is price will swing up, then it'll swing back down, it'll create highs. And then when price finally swings up how it's supposed to, like normally without news, and it closes above here, then I can take that for a buy, right? I can take that as an actual entry. So we'll keep following and we'll see what happens, in the next hour or so. If we don't have any entries, then, it's typical Friday. But if you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions and I can answer whatever you guys need help with. Let's see. G said, is this a 10-minute snipe? Never mind, no buy signal. Let's see. Yeah, no snipe yet, G. Also, we would need a rejection off one of the pivots. So this would be the most recent snipe over here. I think this one right here, this red candle. So if we go back over here real quick and just replay this, just going over the requirements. So first you want to confirm a wick rejection off any pivot. It's rejecting off this blue pivot right here. So that would be requirement number 1. Requirement number 2, you just want to confirm a wick rejecting off the K2 SR zone. So this is SR zone right here. It's rejecting off it with the wick on the bottom. Third, you want to confirm that the wick rejection doesn't touch the body. So this pivot right here isn't touching the body. And then lastly, you just want to confirm the direction of momentum. Right here, we have a buy signal. So with that said, you take this for a long position right there. You go for 500 pips both ways. And if you were to let this run, there you go, full TP. So that's the most recent snipe. Before that, I don't think there was anything that happened prior to that over here. Yeah, so no entry off this yet, G. You would just need it to reject off it down here, and then you'll be good. Yeah, no problem, G. Going over here to the 1 minute. So we got, it's actually, yeah, there's a variation right there. I'm not sure if you caught that, Maddie. Yeah, there was a variation that was right there. Quick one too. Yeah, it's a super quick variation right there, Maddie. I'm not sure if you caught it, but it's too risky. You should enter for a late entry. Okay, nice. Yeah, so it looks like you caught some of it. Yeah, you probably went for the half, right? 5. Sounds about right. Let's see over here. Yeah, this thing's super volatile right now. Yeah, no. I'm tempted to enter it late. See, I'm put like small lot size. I don't recommend anyone take it, but it was a small variation right there. And the volatility on this thing is crazy. Yeah, it would have hit TP already right there. Super quick. Let's see if there's like anything else that would be good here. Yeah, nothing really. At this moment, there isn't much to take. It's getting close to this New York high over here. The volatility just picked up like crazy at this just like this little area. I'll move this low a little lower. Other than that, I think bias is still kind of bullish. Check this right over here. It's still like at about 100 points, but I mean, there's just like no clear direction, obviously. Let me see if there's anything right there. Man, I just keep looking at empty forks. I'm like thinking if I should hop in, but no, it's just too risky. Yeah, the thing that looks good about it is that it keeps bouncing off the it's like near the it's near the New York high over here. So I could kind of anticipate it to shoot up at some point. But I don't know. This volatility right here is just it's crazy spikes back and forth. See if I can find something over here real quick. No. All right, so I'll just be waiting for anything. Yeah, like Peter said, crazy wicks on both sides. I'm like wondering what's causing price to bounce like that. Yeah, I don't know. And here just drop a little lower. Yeah, I mean, there was news that was at 7, but yeah, that thing was, I mean, let me see how far it was pushing from. I mean, it wasn't that big of a push. It was just like 200 pips, but it was pushing like pretty crazy right there. Yeah. I'm like curious if it's going to push up even higher now because it's past the it's past the it is rejected off the New York high over here because I think that's probably what's going to happen at this point. I was thinking of taking a speculative buy because it just bounced off the New York high, and if we get a buy signal, it'll price shoot right up. So yeah, we can see how this goes here. But damn, this market, I mean, the thing is just super volatile right now. But that'd be, I mean, if this is where it bounces from, because you know how we're looking for that bullish push, that might be the bullish push that we've been waiting for. Because it's been bullish this whole time, but it hasn't really pushed up. It's kind of just been dropping. So what could happen here is finally came down to that session low, and then it could be making its or the session high, and then it can be making its way all the way back up. But I mean, who knows? Like for example, right here, this might be the bottom out that we were looking for, where it can finally make its way, to the upside. I don't know. We'll see. It's Friday, so the market's going to do what it does, but we'll see. Yeah, Peter said I've noticed the last couple of Fridays that market goes down about 60 to 90, just 90 minutes before market close, and then it pushes. Let me see, Peter said, I noticed the last couple of Fridays that market pushes down, and about 60 to 90 minutes before market close, it pushes up a lot. Yeah, a lot of people try to buy the dip, but damn, look how price just pretty much crashed right there. Yeah, this is the kind of market that I don't want to trade. This is why I don't normally trade on Fridays, because you're going to see a lot of this like unusual price. Like, I don't know what's causing this huge drop right here. Like, there's nothing that's going on in the market. The news here was positive. There's not really much going on. I mean, looking at the fundamentals over here. So this might be a sign to just sit out the market, because it's my Microsoft is still up like 7 points though. So it's up like 7 points. Goldman Sachs is now down. Goldman Sachs was actually green earlier. I don't know how it dropped so much. But there's a couple stocks here that are red: Boeing, Goldman Sachs. Microsoft's still up 7 points. So overall, but it did drop significantly, because it was up like 130 points in the green. Now it's 78. But I don't know what's really causing let me just open this real quick. There was like news that was 5 things to know before the stock market opened. So maybe there's stuff going on that we didn't anticipate. Wall Street set to open higher despite another hot inflation report. Prices rise. A lot of the stuff doesn't affect US 30. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's typical for Friday for price to be moving like this. Irregular, where it doesn't really move smoothly. So here's a high, here's a low. There's still no entry. We've been waiting for one of these entries to come up, but I mean, nothing's come up yet. So I guess at this moment, there really isn't much for us to look at. So if you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I'll be looking for entries, but I just don't see anything here that's available. If the bias changes, that's fine. We can start looking for sells, but I'm currently right now, the bias is still indecisive. I mean, obviously it's coming down. We can see that price is coming down, but I don't know how long it is, if this is going to hold for the entire session. Plus it's Friday, so maybe it's best to just go and sit out the market today. Yeah, what Rick said, it always comes back to the news. So, Sisu just mentioned Goldman does have yet another class action lawsuit. So I guess there's something that happened with Goldman. Let me just check. I don't see any news on Goldman Sachs right now. Yeah, CC said that they have oh, gotcha. Okay. It's on Rudders. So it'll probably come up later, but yeah, it's probably why, because Goldman earlier was like, it was far in the green. Well, it wasn't far in the green, but it was like same points in the green. It was like 3 points in the green, and it dropped to -4. So I guess something happened with them. But everything else here is still red. This has been red this whole time. These 4 stocks right here. So from this morning session, all these were red. These just started to turn red right now, and Goldman Sachs is actually green. So we also have another news event right here. Yeah, but I don't think this affects the market. Well, it affects the market, but not US 30. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. So the Dow is still up 86 points. S&P's up. I mean, everything's pretty much still up right now. It's just not that strong. Other than that, let's see. See, Ardania said, wouldn't that previous lower high be at 708 be considered a variation? Let me check real quick. Yeah, this one right here, actually. So this one right here, if you guys caught this variation, would have been a variation entry. So Ardania, you did catch that perfectly right there, because you see the double wick, right? We got the high that was established right here. It's a double wick rejection. Could have taken that right there for a short. It's a full TP. So yeah, nice catch off that. I didn't even see that. That would have been a good entry. So it looks like both variations hit. Can't remember what the other one was, but the one that me and Maddie were looking at earlier looks like it hit. And then this one hit right here too. But this higher here would be validated because it touched off that second candle. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah, not much. Yeah, Maddie said, I feel like it will reverse all the way up. I'm anticipating that too. That's why I haven't really changed my bias. My bias is still for a buy here. It's probably gonna hit some sort of support at some point, and then it's just gonna shoot all the way back up. But I mean, who knows? Strolling up real quick. Al's asking, good morning, Sean. Can you review the high-low scalp strategy, please? Yeah, sure, no problem. So let's see if I could find one here that happened recently. Let's see, 1, 2, that wouldn't be an entry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is an example right here. Let me go to a clean chart, or let me go to a different area right here, Al, because there's an entry right here, but I don't want to mess these markups up. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go and find one that happened over here, like probably yesterday or something. And then, or if I could find one over here, actually, this would be okay too. Let me just go back because I don't want to mess up our markup. So I'll just go back to it, maybe one that happened yesterday, because there was a couple that happened yesterday, I believe. The 9th was yesterday right here. Right over here. Okay, so let me just go and rewind it from this point over here. Let's see if we can find an entry that I can show you. So let's see. Okay, perfect. So this would be an entry right over here. I'm going to disregard pretty much all of the other things that we look at, because I'm just going to show Al here an example of how this strategy works. So basically right here, we're looking to confirm the previous swing highs and swing lows. So in order to do that, you can see the K2 high low indicator right here. So basically when this is off, you don't see the high lows on the chart. But when you turn it on, you can see that price identifies the swing highs, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, etc. So first you want to confirm the previous swing highs and swing lows. So looking at this right here, this would be the previous swing high. And then before this low right here, which is not established yet, the one before that would be right here, right? Let me just go back one candle so it doesn't confuse you. So this right here is pending, and this would be the one before it. So we'll draw the low right here. And in order to establish that as a low, you need to make sure that 5 candles pass right after it. So this low right here has been established. You count 5 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 candles have passed and hasn't touched it. So with that said, this would be established as a low, and this would be as the high. Next, you want to confirm price break and close past the previous swing. So looking at this next candle right here, you can see that this candle over here broke past it, right? So we got the low right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 6th candle right here broke and closed below it. So this is requirement number 1. We have the low. This is requirement number 2. We have price break and close below it. For the third requirement, you want to confirm that you're trading in the direction of momentum. So you want to go back and see what's the most recent momentum signal. Right here is a sell signal. So we're looking for sells. So we confirm that the momentum is swinging to the downside. Fourth, you want to confirm that price is not ranging or consolidating. You can see that price was currently in a range right here because price was going up and down within these 2 highs and lows. This candle here broke outside of it and closed. So with that said, this broke out of the range. So price is no longer ranging or consolidating. Lastly, you want to confirm that price has not touched the previous swing before the break and close. So before this candle, none of these candles right here touched this low. So with that said, you would enter a short position right over here. You go for 100 pips. You let that run, and there you go, full TP. So this is pretty much how the strategy would line up. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Al. It's pretty simple. It's just, it's pretty much a checklist for the most part. Let me go back to where we currently are. Let me go grab that, move this over here. All right, moving this over. All right, so price is starting to make its way right back up. But as you can see, it's just a lot of back and forth movement. It's not necessarily a clear direction to the swing to the upside. I mean, it is pushing up, but it hasn't really like pushed its way like all the way up yet. It could be making its way back up right now. So this high right here is invalidated, so it wouldn't be, considered an entry. This right here would be the next pending high. But yeah, it could be making its way all the way back up now. Pretty much what we've been anticipating all morning. Yeah, Maddie said it'll move up. I think it'll move up, but it's going to be super choppy. I agree. So we'll see what happens here. But yeah, that drop to the downside is just a fake out, just like what Maddie anticipated. He said, yeah, it was a fake out, he thinks. And I think so too, because I do think it's going to swing back up. It's just going to be a matter of time. So if you guys look at current price, it's doing exactly what it's been doing the past couple of days. It kind of just goes in one direction. And then when price finally hits these highs that have been tested, it triggers people's stop losses. And then it just goes on a huge push of volatility to the upside. So right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth candle. We need one more candle after it to establish this as the high. Once it's been established, we can probably take it from there, but it hasn't been established yet. The problem with this here, or it's not really a problem, but if we do get something there, it would be we would have the buy signal that comes up, and then if we have that buy signal, then it would qualify as one of these, all of these entries in one. So that'd be one that I would be looking to possibly take. Pretty much the one that I've been waiting for this entire session. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get that entry and then we can just wrap up the week. But yeah, the market doesn't always do, like usually for waiting for something, it usually just misses it by like one requirement, which would generally be the momentum signal. But I'm hoping that it actually works out this time. Yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see. All right, and here goes price coming right back down. Let me check the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals should still be bullish. So looking over here real quick, refreshing this, still bullish, up 119 points, which is not a surprise. We anticipated that. Looking over here. Stock index is pretty much the same as it was earlier. And here he goes, price comes back down. So not really much of opportunity right now. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I mean, otherwise, I'm just gonna be waiting. At least I'm not yawning today, right? Market is still slow, but it's not as slow as yesterday. It just isn't moving smooth. So either way. Yeah, Maddie, I just saw your message. Yeah, I don't use that anymore. Like that thing that we looked at prior was I think it was just good for like that day. So like me and Maddie are having side combo. We were testing this other variation, but it's not really good. The only one that's good is like usually when it has a double wick rejection. So let's see. Yeah, Patricia said don't for today. Market is just not acting right. So yeah, I agree. Here's Patricia's profits for the day, 1,027. So nice for Patricia. Yeah, Charlie said no valid 3-minute signal this whole morning. Yeah, that's crazy, huh? Yeah, this whole morning looks like Charlie's been waiting for that 3-minute signal, but he hasn't had a valid one pretty much all morning. And that's like another red flag. It just indicates that it's weird that there'd be no valid momentum signal for the entire session. It's been New York session all morning. This was invalid, and this was invalid too. So no valid signals in either direction, which is really unusual. Market's been open for about an hour now. You'd expect there to be at least at least one valid signal, but there hasn't been one all morning. So that might be a hint that, hey, market's probably not moving right today. And a lot of people are identifying that as well, right? Like Patricia here, she said the market's not acting right. I agree with Patricia. It's not acting right at all. I know a lot of you guys are trying to take some risky trades, but I wouldn't recommend taking anything too risky over here. See if there's anything else. So let's see. Maddie just sent his profits over real quick. So let's see. Maddie locked in a total of 609 off his MFF. His FTMO over here locked in a total of 1,513 down. Pricing is different still, huh, Maddie? Because you only get 600 here, and then over here you're up 1,500, and then over here you're 1,500 as well off your other FTMO. So nice work, Maddie. Maddie said, "Yeah, MFF be playing me." Yeah, no, that sucks. Here's Deswell over here. So Deswell just sent his profits as well. Deswell said, "My trades for the week, he's done." So he locked in a total of 27,000 this week. Nice. Killed it. Nice work, Deswell. Great work, Deswell. So Deswell over here, he's the one that applies the 3-minute strategy. So this is the guy I was referring to earlier. He's the one that brought up the strategy right here, the 3-minute daily. Deswell is currently at 27,000 for, whoops, what did I do? Yeah, Deswell is currently up 27,150 for the day. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of people here in K2 who are profiting. It's not just me. It's not just a few people. There's like a good handful of people that are profiting in K2. Deswell is a pilot, so he's usually not available to trade like pretty much all day. He he trades when he can. That's why he trades just like one trade a day off his US 30 most of the time. But yeah, great profits right there, Deswell. So if you guys are wondering who created this 3-minute daily or who brought it up, it's Deswell. This is one of our K2 members. He's been with K2 since we started. So great work right there, Deswell. Yeah, that's nice. 27 in a week. Other than that, I don't see anything else here that's available. Go back to the 1 minute. Price still hasn't broken above there. We have another pending low right here. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to take anything today, guys. If you guys are wondering, I'm probably just going to sit out the market. If you guys do have any questions, though, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and then I can answer whatever questions you guys have. Otherwise, if we don't get any questions, we might just have to wrap the session a little early just to prevent me from FOMOing into any of these moves here, because it's just too risky. Yeah, Maddie said similar setup to yesterday and Wednesday. Lots of highs being created, but they haven't been touched. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So as you guys can see right here, there's a lot of highs being created, and then now it's ranging, right? It's actually gotten into a range right here. So what do you think is going to happen from this point? I think the breakout's going to happen soon. We have the range right here. Price will probably shoot to the upside or shoot to the downside. No clear direction, but this is it's pretty. It looks like it's setting up for a breakout. Patrick said too choppy for me, and it's Friday. I'm just going to be a spectator today. Yeah, same here, Patrick. I mean, me and you in the same boat, right? Yeah, the market is just not. It's just not there today. Let's see if there's anything else that I'm missing over here. Not much. There we go. So as you guys can see, I took my eyes off the chart for like a second, but you can see that price was ranging within this area. And then look what happened. If you guys remember, I drew that arrow pointing up and see where the breakout happened right here. Break all the way to the upside. And here we go, right back into the range. So it was right here, broke out, then it came right back down. So there really isn't, I mean, the market's just too choppy for me. Like just how, like Patrick said, you know, if you guys have been with K2 for a while, you guys are able to identify these things. You know, this might not make sense to everybody, but you know, the more and more you stare at the charts and you guys see how things are moving, you can tell when the market's it's not a good time to trade. Like right now, definitely not a good time to trade. Here's the range for the clean chart. It hasn't really moved at all either. It's just pretty much bouncing around these areas. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't much for us to take. So if you guys have questions, you know, feel free to drop any questions you guys have. I'm here to help you guys out. If you guys want me to go over any of the strategies, if you guys want me to go over anything regarding trade psychology, FTMO, anything like that, I can help you guys out. It's 6:32 right now, so it's getting close to 8. I mean, we have like 28 minutes. But the thing is, if we don't see anything good here, then we might be wrapping up the session early. But if you guys do have questions, you know, I want to help you guys out. So if you guys have any questions at all, you know, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Reminder for next week. I think I'll put a poll in the group. I think we'll probably be having our mentoring session next Friday. So I'll put the poll in the group and I'll just give you guys an update, or I'll just tell you guys when the mentoring session is going to happen. So, you know, I know a lot of people don't like to ask questions on here because they don't want to bother people while we're looking for trades, but there just isn't any trades available. So if you guys do have any like specific questions, what I do recommend is like create a list of questions. And then on Friday, when we have our mentoring session, we can cover them more in detail, where you don't have to, you know, feel like you're interrupting people here looking for trades while asking questions. So here we go, as price continues to drop lower. All right, so this low has been invalidated. If it closes below, this would be a high-low entry, but it's not one that I would recommend really taking. Mainly because we're still looking for the buy. Like my bias is still buy. I know there's been a couple sells here that came up that would have been good. Like there was an entry right here, or actually no, 1, 2, 3, 4. This wouldn't be an entry. And as you can see, price it gets close to the previous lows. It rejects right off it, and then it comes right back down. Similar to what happened up here, right? There was a low that was right here, or a high that was right here. Price came up, rejected off the high, then it came right back down. The problem with this right here is that it just tries to be, it's contained within this range over here. So there really isn't much, and you can see this low right here invalidated it, and then now there's a newer low right here as well. And we'll just take this off because there's no more low there. It just keeps pushing it lower and lower. Let's see, we got a question over here from Donnie. So let's see, Donnie, what's your question? Donnie said, hey, Sean, do we have to consider position of pivot level 3 and 4 before we take a position? For example, if you go to the sell momentum candle on the 1 minute at, today's the 9th at 12:55, should we ignore the sell since, so I would ignore the trades altogether around that time, Donnie, like even before I even look at it. The reason why I would ignore the trades around that time, because that's when the swap happened. So if you're entering the trade at 12:55, the swap happens at 125 for FTMO, meaning the market closes. So the thing is, if you're entering a trade at 12:55 and the market is about to close, you're going to see a lot of manipulated price movement because a lot of people are getting out before the swap. So that's why I wouldn't enter any trades around that time. but I'll go over and take a look at it. But I'm going to tell you like up front, that's like, even before even looking at the chart, I wouldn't be taking any trades at that time because I don't take trades on the swap. Because what happens at the swap sometimes is you'll see market will gap. So as you can see right here, this is, or not there, right here, right? So that you see this big gap right here. So if you're entering a trade at 1255, you can be caught in a gap right here, or you can be caught with like a huge swap cost, depending on like what broker you're using. But when the market closes like that, there's generally going to be a gap. So you don't want to be trading around market open. So let me go there to that time that you're looking at. Okay, so 1255, you're talking about this candle right here. I'll just go and rewind it to that point. So let me just go back and look at your question here again. So, so yeah, let me just go back again. So, hey, Sean, do we have to consider the position of pivot level 3 and 4 before we take a position? So the reason why I look at it is because that's one of the requirements here, Donnie. If you remember, I'm following these 3 strategies here. So if you're looking at the pivot scalp, that's like the main requirement there. Price is below pivots 3 and 4 for a sell. So price would have to be below the pivots in order for there to be an entry. So it is relevant and it is necessary. Because you said, I notice you mainly take sells when, yeah. So yeah, I think you answered your own question there, because you said, I notice you mainly take sells when level 3, or you're talking about the pivot direction. So I think this is what you're referring to, right? You're referring to whether the pivot 3 is above the pivot 4. It doesn't really matter. So the thing is, when price is shifting below the pivot, so you can see right here, let me just take everything off the chart, or just take off the stuff that's like kind of mixing it. So as you can see, the pivots are going to cross over, but the main thing is where price currently is, because you can see that the orange pivot is leading, right? So for example, right here, when the orange pivot shifts below the red right here, it goes down. And then when it shifts above the red, price goes up. So price continues to move. Well, the orange one has been above it, so it just comes back, right? So price is up, retraces down a little bit, comes right back up. And during this entire period, the orange one is always above it, right? As it continues to push up higher. When it shifts below it, the trend shifts below. So it's not really necessary to see where it's moving, because these are laggy indicators. These just identify where the trend's moving. So you don't really need to follow it, because we're taking such quick moves. Like for example, right here, if you have a sell right here, and for just using this as an example for an entry, if you were to wait for this orange to happen to be below it, you miss the entire move, right? Because you miss this whole movement right here if you're waiting for that to happen. I mean, if you want to be extra careful, you can, but you would have just missed out on this whole move right here if you're waiting for it to actually shift, because we're using the 2 strongest pivots here. If you're using the first 2 pivots, like this would probably make more sense if you're using 1 and 2, because these cross over faster, right? These cross over right away. We're using the slower ones because we want a stronger trend. So that's why we're using these 2 right here, because they're laggier and they're a lot more stronger than the first 2. So it's not necessarily required that you see where they are with regard to the positioning, but it's going to give you a better confirmation, because if you just go back, you can like literally see the orange is always going to be leading. So you can see the orange will lead past it, but at that point, it's already like confirmed that it's moving that direction. And you can see right here, there's a big move to the upside already, but when it shifts right here, it's already too late. So I wouldn't necessarily look at that for any confirmation, but I mean, you can, whatever works for you. If this works for you visually, because the thing is, what I'm trying to get across to you guys is that these indicators are just like training wheels for you guys, right? It's training you guys what to see in the market. But if you guys can see something that helps you understand stuff better, then it's perfectly fine to use it. So Donnie, if this works for you, where you like to trade where it's only above or only below, then you can use that. But for me personally, I don't use that, because I just, if you add too many requirements to a strategy, you're just never going to have any entries, and you're going to probably miss out on a lot of good ones as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can. Yeah, exactly. No problem, Donnie. it's really up to you guys, right? All you guys have your own special ways of trading. Like if you guys have seen like, over the time, a lot of people don't necessarily follow the K2 strategies exactly how I do them. They have their own little ways, right? Because a lot of you guys come to K2 with knowledge of trading already. So you guys pretty much combine your knowledge with what you learn here at K2, and it just makes your strategies that much better. So what I always recommend is, always be creative with what you guys apply. If you guys know something that we don't necessarily apply ourselves, go ahead and throw that into the mix. Like, I don't know if Brian's in here. Brian's not in here today. So you guys have seen Brian's profits. Brian always posts his profits. He's like super consistent in K2. Brian uses a combination of what he knows and with what he, so basically he applies the K2 strategies specifically how they're taught, but then he also combines them with like other quicker scalps that he uses himself. So as you can see, like, you look at Brian's profits here, he's making like 4,000 this day, day before that, 4,000, day before that, 7,000. And he takes a lot of trades. Like he's not looking for like one or two trades. He's looking for like 10, 12 trades because he's taking a lot of scalps all throughout the day. So, Brian's one of the people here he's been with K2 for, I think, 2 years now. He's been with us for a while. So he already came in with knowledge of scalping. He wasn't like as consistent, but once he started to use K2 along with his own knowledge, he's able to lock in like so much profit here, right? Every day, like that day too, he locked in like 11K. So yeah, I mean, you guys are open to use any type of strategy you guys want. And if you guys already have a strategy, you can use the K2 indicators to help you guys make your strategy even better. Because that's what these indicators are for, right? They're not required, but they're here to make trading easier and more efficient for you guys so that you guys don't have to waste time analyzing things that can be done for you. So yeah, other than that, let me see. No entries here yet. I mean, market still isn't doing anything. It's broken into a smaller range below here. So here we go. We have another smaller range down here. But other than that, market isn't really moving very much. All right. Yeah, Maddie. All right, Maddie. So we'll see you next week. So Maddie's gonna go to the barbershop right now, get to cutting. But yeah, Maddie, I'll talk to you later and we'll see you next week. Other than that, guys, it's getting close to 8. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop any of your questions now. And, glad to help you with your question over there, Donnie. I know like some of this stuff might be a bit confusing, especially with like things that you're starting to catch, but I'm glad that you're starting to catch those things, right? Because you're basically training your eyes to see certain things in the market. And then I'm pretty sure that you probably saw that, like whenever price is above and pivots are like above each other like that, it's like almost guaranteed to push in that direction, which is good. You guys always want to continue to learn, whether it be from me or from anyone else. There's always, it doesn't hurt to have more knowledge as long as you're learning proper knowledge. Because I see a lot of people join other groups, and it's funny because I'm in a lot of these other groups and I see people there try to give each other advice, and it's like horrible advice because like none of them, like I just, I see people like a group of people who don't know how to trade or don't know what they're doing, and they try to teach other people that don't know what they're doing. And then everyone just ends up doing the wrong things. So what I do recommend is if you guys are going to, learn from someone or like learn from a group, make sure that like the person you're learning from is actually credible. Because I hate to see a lot of people learn something from K2, they go to another group and then they learn something from another person, and then everything they learn just goes out the window, and they and they just do and then it's just crazy, because they go from being an okay trader to like a horrible trader just because like they think they can find something better somewhere else. And Peter said, yeah, a lot of these groups don't follow news or fundamentals. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of people just follow straight technicals, right? Which I mean is fine. I mean, if it works for them, it's fine. But I haven't seen anyone that necessarily does it that well just trading technicals. Everyone that I know that does well and consistently uses a lot of the same things that I use. And that's the reason why I use them, because I learned it from certain people too, or I didn't learn it from them, but I saw them using it and I figured out how to analyze it myself. Patrick said Sean's like other groups like Batman in the Shadows. Yeah, I know. Because we have a lot of members in K2, right? There's a lot of members in K2 who end up going and doing their own thing, or they end up and they still keep in touch because, you know, they started learning from me. So they want me to like moderate the rooms and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to moderate your rooms, but I'll be here. But yeah, no, I just find it funny. There's a lot of other groups there that try to mimic what we're doing here at K2, but the problem is they don't have someone there that's really teaching them what they need to know. It's just a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, and they just pass around bad knowledge. But yeah, guys, so I think that's it for today. I don't see anything else. It's 7:45 right now. We have about 15 minutes till 8 o'clock, which is usually the time where I get off anyways. So I think this is it. I'm not looking to take any trades today. I'm going to just be sitting out the market and just, you know, I'm probably not going to watch the market. I'm probably just going to get offline for the rest of the day. I'm just going to do some back office work for K2. But yeah, if you guys do have questions, you know, feel free to reach out through email or Telegram. Otherwise, I will I'll be holding our mentoring session next Friday. So if you guys do have questions, what I do recommend is to just list all your questions and then wait for Friday so that we can go over your questions in detail. And if you guys haven't seen the previous mentoring sessions, just go on the YouTube channel. So if you go on the YouTube channel, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Yeah, if you guys go to the K2 YouTube channel and you guys are like curious how, you know, the mentoring sessions work and stuff, you guys haven't gone, just go to videos, and pretty much all the live sessions have been recorded. So if you ever want to go back and see how the market was moving on a certain day, say if you're back testing a strategy and you're curious to see how the market is moving on December 1st, you can go back and pull up the live session from December 1st, and you guys can see how I analyze the market for that day. Otherwise, the ones with the green background right here are the group mentoring sessions. So I'm trying to have one at least once a week. So, you know, there's one here from 3 days ago. There's one here from 2 weeks ago, one here from 3 weeks ago. I've been having them pretty much every single week, just to make sure that you guys are getting everything down, and that you guys are able to do well, just like the majority of other people here in K2. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for this session. And if you guys have questions, just reach out. So have a great rest of your week, your day, guys, and then have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys back here on Monday when market reopens. Otherwise, if you guys have any pressing questions at the moment, you know, just feel free to reach out to me. It'll probably take me a while to get back to you because I do have a ton of emails to get through today. About 100 emails today, so I'm gonna be on this for a while. But yeah, other than that, I'll catch you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And if you guys don't need a trade today, I recommend you guys just sit out the market because the market is moving a bit crazy. So see you guys.